think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way rock the baby to sleep until morning. Ewing. Oh, wow. Oh, he's going to try to get one more shot off the line. Push the buzzer. How about that? Steps over Toronto. He thought about three. He'll put up that three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents Three from Deep. I'm your host, Jason Calenzo. Guys, welcome to the show. Yes, we are feeling and in a New York state of mind right now. How about those Knicks, ladies and gentlemen? What another dominant performance in a 4-game sweep of the Philadelphia 76ers, man. We're going to get into this here big time today, but thank you guys very much for joining me here. Happy Monday, coming out of the weekend. Wonderful Mother's Day weekend. I hope everybody out there blessed their moms, had a great time, showed some appreciation. But Mother's Day is not just one day a week, guys, or one day a year. It is all the time. So make sure you always show mom some love. But guys, welcome to the show. I am hyped. I am still just ridiculous right now watching the New York Knicks completely and utterly dominate the Philadelphia 76ers yesterday. Even though this was the poster dunk the game before, I still got to throw this up there because this is what I'm feeling right now. What an unbelievable performance from these New York Knicks. You know, I was so not just unsure, but man, I figured, Philadelphia's going to have some fight left in them. This is, backs against the wall, 3-0 down. I thought they were going to come out with a little more energy, but New York came out and just squashed any thoughts of the 76ers having any kind of energy in that building. What an unbelievable start to that game. Shout out to Deuce McAllister. The Deuce is loose. First quarter, just kind of real. I mean, the Knicks were hitting shots, and then Deuce came in, just bang, 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 bang. 4 threes in a row. Gave the Knicks a 20-6 lead, and it was no turning back from there. The game was pretty much over. That first quarter, 11 for 13 threes, tying an NBA record in the playoffs. What a masterful shooting performance by these New York Knicks. A dominant defense because they shut those guys down, turned around, and turned it into points. Unbelievable. We had 6 Knicks in double-digit figures in that game. They ended up winning 144-114. It wasn't even that close. It wasn't even that close. Hit 25 3-point shots. to tie an NBA postseason record. 3 from deep. And they were nailing them. And they were feeling themselves. And that building was rocking. That was the 6th borough in Philadelphia. 76ers fans, you should be ashamed of yourselves. That your top dog, your leader of that 76ers team, Joel Embiid, has to get on the mic and beg y'all to buy tickets, to not sell your tickets to Knicks fans, to do everything you can to keep New York out of the building. But yet, that did not happen. I've never heard a visiting building so loud than I did yesterday with Philadelphia and the Knicks fans that had infiltrated that building. It was unbelievable. The 6th borough is now Philadelphia and got waxed. Dropped 43 points in that first quarter. They were just on fire. There was nothing that could stop them. And Philly did nothing. There was no perimeter defense. They couldn't keep them off the ball. They couldn't get offensive rebounds. It was over. First quarter, over. Here it is, game 4. You're about to get swept. And Philadelphia had no answers. Jalen Brunson, 22 points. Again, Deuce McBride, shout out, man. 25 points, was on fire. 7 3-point shots made. Again, 4 for 4 in that first quarter. That really just set the tone. Karl-Anthony Towns, 17 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds. But the biggest thing we need to get Karl-Anthony Towns to do is control being in foul trouble, because lucky enough, he was really not needed in this game. He put his work in. Man, shout out, 10 assists is phenomenal for him. He's got great vision, great court vision. But you got to do something about the personal fouls. This is only going to get harder. Now you are in the Eastern Conference Finals. Here we go again. Back-to-back years with this team. Waiting for either Detroit or Cleveland, which we'll talk about here in a second. But man, just when you thought that dominant performance they had in Atlanta, where they just blew the doors off of them, you thought maybe that was a one-hit wonder. Oh, it was just, it was one of those lightning in a bottle, probably never going to happen again. Well, whoa. It happened again. When this team is on, it is on. And it's everybody. Alvarado, Shamet, Bridges. Everybody put in work, and this is a unit. This is a team. They looked masterful. I hate falling in love with the 3. Yes, I know the show is called 3 from Deep, but I think there's just way too many 3s in the NBA. It's almost like they got to do away with the 3-point line again, because just guys were chucking up 3s. But man, New York could not miss. What a dominant performance. Again, they did it in Atlanta and against Atlanta. They dropped 2 games to them and then haven't lost since. Blew the doors off of them. And then to come back. And Philly's no slouch team, man. With Joel Embiid, okay game, 24 points, but it just felt moot. Tyrese Maxey, there was no energy in that first quarter. The Knicks sucked every ounce of hope out of that 76ers team. And I hope, yes, I hope they can do this again to make it to the finals. If this team plays this way, they are going to the NBA finals. I don't care if they have to play Cleveland. I don't care if they have to play Detroit. They play this way, they are going to the finals. Period. Period. Did you hear that? Period. Wow. Masterful performance. Guys, let me know what you think. Is this Knicks team poised to go to the finals? First time since 1999? Possibly. But back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals. Jalen Brunson going down as one of the greatest free agent signings in Knick history, possibly in NBA history, but definitely in Knick history because he is unbelievable in his leadership and his energy and what he brings to that New York Knicks team. Wow. Guys, Knicks. That's what I'm talking about. That is domination. This is, in today's NBA, it's crazy that a 20-point lead is not safe. That teams have come back from being down and being beat up. But that's how you just end any hope for a team. That is how you close out a series. That is how you are supposed to play from tip to ending. Phenomenal. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Knicks. All right, baby. What an unbelievable dominant performance again to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Here we go. Detroit, I don't care. Let's go. Cleveland, good luck. And it don't matter who it is. This team can now get healthy. No OG in it. And that's the other thing. No OG. One of their best offensive performers. Not even in the game. Unbelievable. Stinking leavable. Guys. Woo! Here we go. New York. Back in the Eastern Conference Finals. Woo! And then we're going to talk a little bit about the Cleveland Cavaliers, who actually showed up on Saturday. So let's take a little step back. Let's go back in, not the way back machine, but we're going to go back a couple of days to Saturday. Beating the Detroit Pistons 116-109. That's okay. Hey, let that series go 7 games, please. Give the Knicks time to rest, recuperate, get everybody nice and healthy. I love it. Just keep clawing at each other. But what? James Harden coming up in the clutch and making shots and not giving away the game? What? Is that crazy? Do I have to backtrack on what I said on Saturday's show about him being the most overrated superstar in NBA history? What? Heck no. Still is. Not backtracking. What I said is what I said. And I will not recant anything I said. James Harden, you got one. Out of the umpteen years you have been in the league and had terrible playoff games, terrible game 7s, you had one good playoff ending on Saturday where you had some clutch shots. 19 points, 7 assists, only 3 turnovers. Mitchell, 35 points, 10 rebounds. Mobley showing up, 8 rebounds. 58% from the field. So shooting lights out. You guys did pretty good. 37.5% from three. Again, here we go. Everybody's in love with the three. Knicks were in love with the three, but they shot over 60%. That's a whole nother story. But Detroit, Cade, 3 key turnovers at the end of the game. I think he drank some of James Harden's juice and kind of lost his way there for a minute. 3 key turnovers. He had 27 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. So he had a triple-double in a playoff game. Tobias Harris, 21 points. But 36% from three, 9 for 25. See, you're shooting up too many threes, man. 41 for 9, 45% from the field. So Cleveland's defense, Cleveland being active on the boards, actually stopped Detroit from scoring. And they kind of got in their own way. So Detroit, this is, I guess, their throwaway game. They've been playing lights out since they beat Orlando and got out of that series. They look like a dominant team, but just did not play well on Saturday. Tonight is game 4. Which team for who is going to show up here? Are we going to see Saturday's Cleveland team? Are we going to see Saturday's Detroit team? Are we going to see Thursday's Detroit team or Thursday's Cleveland team? So be interesting to see who shows up. This series, I think, is going to go a lot longer, which I'm glad as a Knicks fan. Again, let's go. But I will not backtrack on any comment I said about James Harden. That was his one. Game 3. Let's see what you do in game 7. Let's see what you do when the real pressure's on the line. If you're going to be fumbling around on the floor again. But Cleveland showed up, came up in the series. It was a huge win. They needed that. They could not go down 3-0. No team in NBA history has come back being down 3-0. So very, very important win for Cleveland on Saturday. Very big win for James Harden because he's getting beat up. I know I beat you up, and I will continue to do so because I still think what I think. But definitely needed that. I think if he would have bombed again, this would have been really tough for him. But the series is not over. Can you continue to do that, especially if it goes to game 7? But we got another dominant team to talk about. And it's a small market team because, you know, there is a conspiracy right now that the Los Angeles Lakers are upset about, that the refs are small market refs and they want Oklahoma City back in the finals, so they're calling it bad. Look, guys, there were some bad calls in a lot of games this weekend. There were some bad calls in the Knicks game, even though there wasn't a lot of calls. There were some really bad calls, and some no calls in that Spurs Timberwolves game, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Which, I love it when it's the playoffs and they allow them to get physical, and you know they swallow the whistle because that's what I'm used to. That's good basketball. But man, Oklahoma City, they are 7-0 on this playoff run. This is a sweep. This Lakers team cannot handle how good Oklahoma City is at all. And they're playing without their second best player. Jalen Williams still out for Oklahoma City. But man, 131-108. Again, it wasn't even that close. This team is locked and loaded. Oklahoma City is poised to get to the finals back-to-back years. It's going to be really tough to beat them because it is amazing how deep this team is. But compared to their run last year, 4-0 against the Grizz, that first round, 4-3 against the Nuggets. They had a 7-game series against the Nuggets. It was tough. They played the T-Wolves last year, beat them 4-1. And then in the finals, 7 games, even without Tyrese Halliburton, Indiana put up a hell of a fight, 4-3. But right now, this Oklahoma City team's going 8-0 till they make it to the Western Conference Finals. I can't see LA stealing a game. SGA got his 23 points. He had a poor shooting night, 7 for 20, yet Oklahoma City still was dominant. Still dominant on the boards, especially offensive rebounds. Chet Holmgren, Mr. Ichabod Crane out there doing work, destroying DeAndre Ayton. He had 10 points and 6 rebounds, but man, Chet, 18 points, 9 rebounds. He's just Ayton looks terrible out there. Lakers are definitely missing a big man down low. Oklahoma City was getting whatever shot they wanted. AJ Mitchell, man, this guy coming out of nowhere. 10 for 17, 24 points, 10 assists. This is what happens in the playoffs with good teams that are deep. And this is what happens when they play with MVP caliber players who make you play better. This is what's happening on this Oklahoma City team. These guys are drinking the juice. And, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is that guy. They are following his lead. And you got guys coming off the bench, 6th, 7th, 8th men, just putting in work. Amazing things on the court and just propelling this Oklahoma City Thunder team to possibly another sweep. I just can't see the Lakers doing it. LeBron had 19 points. Reeves, 17 points, kind of a weak game. Rui Hachimura has been kind of the lone bright spot for this Lakers team. I think he is really turning out to be a solid player. It's just a shame that there's not really anybody else around him to help. Reeves can get his, but he's just not consistent. This is LeBron. I don't know if it's LeBron's farewell tour. We'll see what happens. But Bronny, you about to get swept out of the playoffs. Look, I know you're 41. I know you're not the superstar anymore, even though you're still a superstar. Everybody's going to be like, hey, well, Jordan didn't do anything with the Wizards. Da, da, da. I mean, that's a whole nother argument that we'll have. But you're about to get just completely swept out of here. And that should happen tonight. So, again, we'll talk about that on Wednesday. But, guys, let me know, is this Oklahoma City team poised for a dynasty run? Last big dynasty we had, Golden State Warriors, 4 championships in their stretch. Oklahoma City, do they have this dynastic team with these guys? The big 3 with Chet and Williams, SGA. And then you have a bevy of role players. Caruso, putting in work. Again, one of those guys that just doesn't show up a lot on the stat sheet, but is just completely active defensively, offensively, just all over the court. So, I mean, this team, McCain, even though he had a kind of a poor game, the game before had a good game coming over from Philly, he's going to be in the finals probably. We'll see. Because a lot of it depends on who they get to play. Because let's get into this Spurs-Wolves game, man. And the big story of this this game was Mr. Wembanyama. The Parisian Pillar gets ejected. His first toss in his NBA career. Throwing bows. Throw them bows. Caught Nas Reed dead in the freaking jugular. Holy cow. I don't know how he just didn't stay down because Wembanyama got them sharp elbows. So that hurt. Look, they were being physical with him, and this is how you kind of mess Wembanyama up. You get physical with him. They did. He got kind of hit in the head, and then he was mad and just kind of started swinging elbows and caught Reed. Flagrant 2. Now, the big thing with this, so possibly this could lead to a one-game suspension because the Wolves survived that game, 114-109 to win. So now San Antonio, they were still in this game. San Antonio, they had the lead, but Anthony Edwards, playing like a man possessed, was not going to let this game slip away. 36 points, masterful performance from him. Unbelievable. He's got a sweet shot. He's just even injured, you can tell he's, both his knees, he's still not like right there, but still putting in work. This Spurs team is deep. They were right there. Fox 24 points, Harper 24 points. Great performance from the young guy. Castle 20 points, Vassell 14 points. Even Luke Cornett giving some rim protection with no Victor Wembanyama. But the Spurs missed Wemby. They only had 3 blocks. Wemby would have got that in like the first half. But he left early in the second quarter with about 4 points. The Wemby chop. So I think this series is going to go 6. I still think the Spurs have just way too many guys because again, the Wolves, they pulled this one out pretty close. It was tough. It was a heck of a battle, but there were some plays in this game. Again, you talk about the refs swallowing the whistle. Who should have been fouled? I mean, this was a physical game, and I think this is going to become a really physical series, even more moving forward, because a lot of it just depends on this next game. Will Victor Wembanyama be available? Is the NBA going to just fine him? Is the NBA going to fine him and suspend him? I mean, this is the first offense. Do you just, let it, give him the slap? Don't do it again. Keep your head. Cooler heads prevail. Don't throw elbows, especially as tall as you are, because when you throw them elbows, you're hitting guys in the head. You ain't hitting nobody in the chest. You stand shoulders above everybody else. When you do this, that's like neck, forehead right there. Boom. Reed would have been any shorter. He would have been knocked out. That would have been it. He would have been just temple. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm waiting to hear from the NBA and their reaction to the Wemby throat chop. But what a heck of a performance from the Wolves. They needed that. They're playing at home. So Spurs, how are you going to respond? You had a chance to win that game. They were up by 8. They had the momentum, and they just went cold. That third quarter was kind of ugly. Both teams really struggling from the field. Offers up and down the court until Anthony Edwards kind of took it over, put these guys on his back. He was all over the place. So, heck of a series. This is a very, very entertaining series. The Wolves are very entertaining. The Spurs are super entertaining. But will we see the Parisian Pillar the next game? Do you think Wemby should have been kicked out of the game? I mean, he was hit in the head and being roughhoused on that play. Do you think it should have been just, a technical and he should have stayed in the game? What are your thoughts? Drop me a line. Drop me a comment, guys. Because it'd be interesting to hear what you guys have to think. I think he should have stayed in the game. He's not a dirty player. He's not known for getting technicals. He was accosted and was responding to getting hit in the head himself, which I'm surprised the refs did not see that and at least take that into consideration. It's one thing if there was nothing going on and he was just tussling for the ball and got angry and threw an elbow, but he was roughed up and there was no foul called against the guy, whoever was roughing him up. I can't remember. I know Reed. I don't think Reed was the initial guy that hit him in the head or instigated. I think Reed just wrong place, wrong time. Wemby didn't know who hit him from behind, and he thought it was him. So, be interesting to see what the NBA does. I don't know. Let's go. I'm just still thinking of New York. Let's go, guys. All right. I'm still excited. Still excited. But let's get in here. We also had on Sunday the NBA draft lottery. And it seems whoever has Anthony Davis on their roster gets the first round pick. Because last year, Anthony Davis was on the Dallas Mavericks and they won the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. This year, the Washington Wizards get that first pick in the NBA draft. They going possibly, because the consensus number one, AJ DiBinsana, how do you say his name? DiBanza. I don't even know how to say. It's terrible. I'm horrible with names, guys. Please forgive me. But AJ. But when I look at this list, Utah second pick, they need a lot more help. Grizzlies third pick. I think the Grizzlies can move Ja and maybe get some more picks, some more capital. They need a lot more. But to me, the top 10, you see the Atlanta Hawks there at 8 and the Dallas Mavericks at 9. You talk about two really good teams. I mean, even though Dallas didn't make the playoffs this year, you talk about Cooper Flag. So this draft is deep this year. The whole tanking thing, because it's a deep draft. There's some great players. So top 10 players this year is going to be phenomenal. So for the Hawks, playoff team this year to get an 8th pick to add to that squad, that is going to be nice for them. So shout out Atlanta. You're going to get better this year. And then the Dallas Mavericks adding to the Cooper Flag corral, possibly, trading away Kyrie Irving, because I don't know if Kyrie's going to stay. There's a lot of report. I mean, who knows? So you may trade Kyrie, get somebody else, and maybe another pick for him. It'd be interesting. And then look at there, the Oklahoma City Thunder, 12th pick. So top 12 players in the world. You're going to the NBA Finals again, possibly back-to-back championships, and you got a top 12 pick in the NBA draft. They are the blueprint for what a team and what a GM and what an organization that knows what they're doing, just the results of. Look at what they do there. They have a stacked team, draft picks out the wazoo. These trades that they do, they end up getting great draft capital. Just an amazing front office there in Oklahoma City. Shout out. They are the blueprint of what an NBA team and how an NBA team should be run. Amazing. So, but guys, let me know what you think. So you're going to have Trey, AD, and now AJ. Is that the next big three in the NBA? Can Trey and AD stay healthy? Washington, you are on the clock. Let's see what happens. And then some of the other news in the NBA. Surprising, Steve Kerr signing a 2-year contract extension, continuing to make him the highest paid coach in the NBA. 2 more years with the Golden State Warriors. I love it. Run it back. I would love to see Steve Kerr retire as the Golden State Warriors coach. As much as he would be an asset to another team going somewhere else, the Bay Area is hit and it's his home. I think him and Steph Curry can go out together in a blaze of glory. And it'll be interesting to see what moves this team makes in the offseason to get him and Steph some help. Do you get rid of Butler? Do you put all eggs and really hardcore press for Giannis? Be interesting to see what Golden State does and what this team looks like. Man, I mean, you talk about a phenomenal coach. 604 wins, a .631 winning percentage, 4 NBA championships. That's pretty damn impressive. Yes, I mean, it helps having the greatest shooter that God ever created and a heck of a dynastic run, but you still got to coach him up. And he did phenomenal. So, man, shout out Steve Kerr. Welcome back to Golden State. But guys, I'm going to go continue this New York party and wait for the Cavaliers Pistons winner and get ready for this Eastern Conference final matchup. I cannot wait. But a couple big games tonight. Get some big game. We got a big game tomorrow. So we'll see you again on, should hopefully be here Wednesday. We'll see what happens. Got a lot going on in the household right now. So bear with me here. But guys, do you hear that? Can you hear it? I'll check you guys later.
One hand in the air for the big city. Street lights, big dreams, all the